Hello and welcome back to the Talking Ball podcast. I am Jack, joined by
I'm Keaton.
Keaton. How are you today?
It's a great day to talk Thunder basketball. I'm awesome. How about you?
I'm great. So yeah, we've got a few things lined up for today's episode. We're excited to talk some more ball. The season's getting closer day by day. So definitely pumped for that. Today we are going to start out with a little Thunder blind rankings. So I've prepared um, a list of multiple different categories, and each category I came up with a few things within it. And I'm gonna just read them in the order I have here, one by one, and Keaton is going to rank them one through five. There's five in each category, and he's going to rank them one through five without knowing what's coming next. So he's going to try his best to kind of guess what may be coming next and wind up with each thing in the real order he would rank them in if he were to know all of them. So we've seen this trend going around a little bit lately and thought it'd be fun to apply to the Thunder. So, you ready, Keaton?
Ready?
All right, let's get on into it. So our first category is jerseys. All right.
All right.
All right. So the first jersey, you're going to tell me where you would place it from one to five. Our current orange alternate jersey.
Um, I'm gonna go four.
Four, not a fan.
I just feel like there's some better jerseys coming up.
All right. All right. So that's four. Next up is our teal Native American jersey from what was that, 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, I'll go two.
Two. Okay.
That was a pretty sharp jersey.
Yeah. So next we have the Navy Swingman jersey from back in the day with the vertical thunder.
I'm gonna go three.
Three. Okay. Two left, and you have your one spot open and your five spot open. Okay. Next jersey is the Classic Blues.
One.
One. Is that your favorite? Nothing could be better.
Nothing beats a classic blue for me.
Okay. Well, do you want to hear what's going to be in your five spot?
Yeah, and see if I regret it.
The white sleeves.
Oh gosh, no. That is absolutely five spot. Nailed that.
Okay. So your ranking was Classic Blues, Teal Native American, Navy Swingman, current orange alternate, white sleeved.
Yeah, and I actually feel pretty good about that. What do you think about that?
I like it. Um,
I think if I could go back, I would switch like the orange with the navy.
yeah, I think I'm a little higher on the orange, but
It's
I mean,
probably,
none of those were like bad. Like, I didn't hate the white sleeve as much as some people did, but I think that's a pretty good ranking.
yeah, I like that one. What do we got next?
Next up, we got current players. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your first current player is Chet Holmgren.
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go two.
Two. You think something better is coming?
I hope something better is coming.
All right. Next, we have Cason Wallace.
Let's go four.
Okay. If you're one, three, and five spot open with Usman Jeng coming up next.
Let's go five.
Okay. So you have your one and three spot. So next up is J Dub, Jalen Williams.
So now I gotta bet if the last one's gonna be Shea or not. And I'm gonna say it's not gonna be. I'm just gonna gamble and go with it's not gonna be. I'm gonna go Jade up at the one.
Okay. Now, do you actually think he's better than Chet? Or just
Uh,
for the sake of this blind rate?
I think they're two different players. They're in the same boat of young, on the rise, awesome. Um, uh, no, I wouldn't say necessarily better. I think better at some things.
Right.
Uh,
Different players.
Yeah, just two completely different players.
All right. Now, in your
That
three
was a very,
spot,
that was a very presidential answer to that question. I was kind of dodging that.
you have Lou Dort.
Yeah. Once
So,
again, I think that worked out pretty well. We've got a lot of categories to go, but we'll see which is the first one to make me go. Ugh.
yeah, you're doing well. So that went J-Dub, Chet, Lou, Kaysen, Zhang.
Yeah.
I'd be how I'd rank them. So, all right. Next category, all-time players.
Okay.
Okay? These are all players of the past. Or they could be currently on the team, but also includes players of the past. First up, we have Hamidou Diallo.
4,
Four. All right. Next up is Mitch McGary.
5.
He's worse than Hami.
I'm just not confident enough to put Mitch McGooey at the 3,
That's fair. Okay. Next, we have Carmelo Anthony.
3.
Three. Okay. You think two better players are coming?
This is starting with a whammo.
Next up, we have Kevin Durant.
1.
All right. And then at your two spot, you have Tony Bradley.
All right. So here's the first one that I go, "Ooh."
Would
Um,
you switch Carmelo with Tony Bradley?
yeah, I'd probably slide Tony Bradley down to the 5.
Wow. Okay.
Even though I will say that that season that we were really bad, that Tony Bradley was on the team, I believe it was 2020, 2021.
Right.
I really liked Tony. Like I thought he
Oh yeah.
could, could be like a at that time when I also thought Moses Brown was the next coming of Jesus Christ. I also thought Tony Bradley could be a long-term solution.
Right. Well, too bad he wasn't.
Yeah. And Moses Brown is not really either.
Okay, next category. For that one, you went Kevin Durant, Tony Bradley, Carmelo Anthony, Hamidou Diallo, Mitch McGary. Next category is Thunder teams. So just like
Okay.
um first up we have 2010, 2011. They went 55 and 27 that year.
It's a pretty good Thunder team. Let's go. Let's start with 3.
Okay. You always play it safe towards the beginning. Um,
Yeah, I do.
but next up we have the 2015, 2016 team that also went 55 and 27.
Let's go 2.
Okay. Next up we have the OK3 with in the year 2017, 2018, they went 48 and 34.
4.
Okay. You have your 1 and 5 open once again. So next up we have 2021, 2022. They went 24 and 58.
5.
Good
I'm
choice.
nervous for what's my 1.
Your one is 2012, 2013. They went 60 and 22.
I feel like that's pretty good.
That's good. That's good. So you had 2012, 2013, then 2015, 16, 2010, 11, 2017, 18, 21, 22. That's how I would rank them. So
Yeah, that worked out.
good job. Next up, we have individual performances. All right, these are single games by one player. Okay.
Okay.
First up, we have Shea's 2020-10 game when he had 20 points, 20 rebounds, 10
Against,
assists.
was that against the Wolves?
That sounds right. I know it was in his first year with us.
Yeah, I think that was in Minnesota. Oh, and is this all time?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty awesome game. I'm gonna go 2.
Okay. Two. Um, yeah, that game was interesting to think back on because it just kind of came out of nowhere. And even ever since then, as even as he's developed as a player, he's hasn't really been a triple double threat or anything like that. So
Yeah, that game was really weird.
yeah. Next up we have Dennis Schroeder's game on November 12th, 2019. He had 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists.
Whoa. I'm gonna go 4.
You think it gets worse than that? Okay.
I theoretically speaking, it could always get worse than that.
Right, right. Okay, next up we have Dort's 42 points. It was one of those years we were trying to do bad, and I think Shea was out that game. So career
Let's
high.
let's go 3.
Yeah. Okay, you have your 1 and your 5 open once again. Um, this one will be Enes Kanter's 33 and 20 game. Kind of forgot about that until I
Who was
was,
that against? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Because I don't even think I remember that game.
yeah, I had to
Uh,
double check that I was seeing that right.
Gosh, is that going to be my best individual performance? 30, I mean, stat wise, it's pretty awesome. So I'll go 1.
Okay. And
Who's
then
my 5?
in your 5 spot, we have Russ 50-point triple double at Denver. When he broke the record for most triple doubles in a year, made the game winner, and knocked Denver out of playoff contention. So that's the worst on this list.
Yeah, horrible, horrible night.
So yeah, your ranking went Cantor's 33 and 20, Shea 20 Dort 42, Schroeder's 9 2 and 2, and then Russ's 50 triple double. It's a pretty good list.
Yeah, Schroeder's 9 in a way
I mean,
is
you could
pretty
make it.
awesome. You, I see that argued all of the time that Schroeder's 9 was better than Russ's triple double at Denver.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Ready?
This one is trades.
Okay, wow. This is good. This is good.
We're gonna rank the trades that the Thunder have made. All right, first trade we have is Russ for CP3 and picks.
That ended up being such an awesome trade. Um, let's go 2.
Okay.
Ugh. Can I change that to 3?
Oh, I thought you were gonna raise it. Okay, yeah,
No,
3.
I'm gonna go 3 just because I can think of better trades.
Right, right. Okay, next up we have Ilyasova and a first for Jeremy Grant.
I mean, another awesome trade. It's got to be the 4 here.
Okay. Next up we have 2 second round picks for Joffrey Laverne.
Joffrey Laverne was awesome. This is gonna take the 5 spot,
Yeah.
but yeah, shout out Joffrey Laverne.
Yeah, good guy. You have your 1 and 2 spot open. Next up, we have Johan Petro and a second round pick for Chucky Atkins and a first.
Chucky Atkins and a first is a ton of value for Johan Petro. That is a sneaky number 2.
You can make that argument. And then in your 1 spot, you're gonna have Serge Ibaka for Sabonis, Ilyasova, and Oladipo.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that probably should take the 1 spot on that list.
Oh yeah, and I think it seemed like a great trade at the time, but then as the years have gone on, it seems even better because we
Yeah,
flipped Sabonis and Oladipo for Paul George and flipped Ilyasova for Grant, and then we flipped Paul George for Shea
and the future.
and draft picks that turned out to be J-Dub and other guys. So yeah, um, I
Yeah, it
thought
is kind of crazy that Ilyasova got added into that trade just kind of like as a little add-on and then turned into Jeremy Grant.
right, and then
And like he was the
turned
worst.
Jeremy Grant into a first round pick. So
I like the trade tree of that trade to just see how like everything evolved.
it's crazy. So your rankings there went that Ibaka trade, and then the Johan Petro Chucky Atkins trade, and then the Russ CP3 trade, and the Ilyasova for Grant, and then the Joffrey Laverne trade.
Yeah.
I might
I, li-
just raise Russ CP3 trade over
yeah.
Yo. So,
I'd probably tank the Chucky Atkins trade,
okay, you
but
ready for round 7?
let's go.
Next, you're going to be ranking draft classes.
All right.
All right, first up is the 2021 draft class. That was
Giddy, Wiggins, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Trey Man. Pretty awesome draft class in the grand scheme of draft classes. But for Thunder draft classes, I'm going to go with 3.
okay.
It gets better.
You don't know if it gets better on this list though,
That's
but
true.
we'll see. Okay. Next up, we have the 2015 draft. We got Campaign. We got Dakari Johnson.
That's going to be my 5.
Okay. So if you have your 1, 2, and 4 spots available, and
Certainly, it doesn't get worse than that on your list, right?
we'll see. So which spot is that 2012 draft class with Perry Jones gonna go into?
4,
4? Okay. Next up, we have the 2022 class with
1.
Bet, J-Dub, Jang, and J Will. 1.
Definitely 1 for this exercise. You could argue not so much with the Jeff Green. Was that Jeff Green KD draft,
I think KD was
or
after.
was that Jeff Green and Russ draft? I can't remember.
Mm,
I think it was Jeff Green KD draft, right?
maybe. I don't know.
Either way, I think that's probably not the next draft class on your list then.
The next one is 2020 with Poku and Teo Maladon.
Um,
You need to slide into your 2 spot.
yeah, that's got to be the 2. Um, yeah, don't love that.
So your final rankings went 2022 with Chet and J-Dub, Jang and J-Will. Then 2020 with Poku and Teo. 2021 with Giddy, Man, JRE, Wiggs. 2012 with Perry Jones. And then 2015 with Campaign and Dick Johnson.
All right, yeah, and
Uh,
yeah, we drafted Jeff Green and KD in the same
oh wow.
draft,
And
so
then
that
were Russ and Ibaka in the same one? Or were Harden and Ibaka?
I believe it was Harden and Ibaka.
That's right. Those were good ones too, obviously. Okay, next round is rank the playoff series. Okay.
Wow. Okay, we've got some good ones and we've got some bad ones. Let's hear it.
We're gonna start with 2019 when we lost in 5 to the Blazers in the first round. And Dame kind of waved us goodbye at the end there.
Uh, I cannot think of many worse playoff series for us in recent memory than this one. Um,
If you think about it, that kind of kickstarted a rebuild.
right. So can I look at it in aspects like
I don't
that?
know. Just look at the playoff series, I guess, just by itself.
Yeah, because like in the playoff series itself, because what? We lost in 5.
Yep.
I'm gonna go 5 here.
Okay.
I felt like we underperformed. Um, we, we just it was just a sloppy series
Right.
from start to finish. Game 1 was a slop fest. Game 2 was a slop fest. You were at game 3 for that win.
Yes. Yep. I should have gone to all of them.
Yep. Yeah, they were undefeated with you there.
Okay. Next up, we have the 2016 Western Conference Finals when we won in 6 against the Spurs. Or this was semifinals, sorry.
Trying to think, but I just don't really even think that it gets much better than that. Um, that was a crazy series. I believe the Spurs were a 60-win team that year. Because that was the same year that the Warriors were 73-9. Um, I mean, they had to play absolutely out of their minds to beat the Spurs that series, and it was incredible to watch. I'm gonna go one.
Okay. You have your middle three spots open here, and next up is when we beat the Grizzlies in seven in 2011.
Yeah, those series were always good with the Grizzlies. Um, let's go two.
Okay. Next up, in either your three or four spot, you have our sweep against the Pelicans this year in the first round.
Um, it wasn't much of a series. They were down Zion. Let's go four.
Okay. And then in your three spot, you're going to have our finals loss against the Heat when we lost in five in 2012.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think like if I was ranking based on how we played, I would have obviously gone with the Pelicans series higher. But like as far as series themselves, uh, I have no problem with a finals loss being above a first round sweep.
All right. Next up, we have coaches. Okay. These can be assistants. These can be
Okay.
these can be head coaches. You never know what you're going to get here. So, first up, we have Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks. I love Mo Cheeks.
Oh, Mo Cheeks.
He was with us for a long time. I think Mo Cheeks deserves to be at the two spot.
Okay. Next up, we have former head coach Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks, three.
All right. Would you have rather seen Mo Cheeks in charge over those years?
No, but Mo Cheeks is with us through the Billy Donovan years too, and so he gets a little points for his longevity.
Next up, we have David Akinyoye, current
Four.
current assistant. All right.
He he had some good summer league fits.
Um, Mark Dagnall is next.
One.
One. Reigning coach of the year. And then in your five spot, you'll have PJ Carlissimo, who,
That that's my first good ranking in a while, where I think that that's how I would rank them.
yeah, PJ got fired shortly after the Thunder became the Thunder. So yeah, you had Mark, then Mo Cheeks, then Scott Brooks, then David Akinyoye, then PJ Carlissimo. All right, two more rounds here. Okay. Next up, we have contracts. You have to rank the players' contracts by how good you think they were. Okay.
Okay.
First up, we have Kevin Porter Jr.'s $17 million that we had to pay him to not play for us.
Five.
All right. Next up, we have Aaron Wiggins' new 5-year, $47 million extension.
Two.
Okay. Next is Kevin Durant's 5-year, $89 million contract he signed in 2011.
One.
That's crazy value. I mean,
Yeah,
different
the
time.
number of points is insane.
Next is Steven Adams' 4-year, $100 million contract. I think he signed that in 2016.
I never was a huge fan of this contract. I felt like he didn't really ever play like a $25 million player. At times I found myself frustrated with that. Let's go four.
Okay, and then in your three spot, we're gonna have Kenrich Williams, 4 years, $27 million contract that he signed last year.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good value. Solid.
Yeah.
Not mad at the ranking.
So you had KD, Wiggs, Kenny, Adams, KPJ.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
All right, last ranking here is player seasons. Okay, I'm gonna give you a player and the year you're gonna rank their season. And disclaimer, these are all really good seasons. I'm not gonna tell you like Steve Novak or something. But first up we have Chris Paul 2019, 2020.
Such a good season. 4.
All right.
If these are all good seasons, I'm gonna go with 4. But it was a great season.
Yeah. Okay, 2016, 2017, Russell Westbrook,
What was the year on that again?
MVP.
Oh, 1.
Okay. 2018-19, Paul George. He was a MVP and Depoy finalist.
That was an awesome season too. I'm gonna go 3.
All right. And then you have your 2 and your 5 open here. This is Shea from last season. 2023, 2024, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
It was an awesome season. I'm gonna put it at the 5,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
but that's just because I think Kevin Durant's MVP season's coming up.
Kevin Durant's MVP season at the 2. So you had
No,
Russ's MVP season, then KD's MVP season, then PG's MVP finalist season. Chris Paul's, what was he? He was top 5 MVP season. And then Shea's MVP finalist season.
I think the only thing that I would switch about that is I'd probably switch Shea's MVP finalist season and Chris Paul's.
I would have Shea over Paul George.
Yeah, I probably could
Now you
I
didn't know
could
if I was going to give you all MVP caliber seasons there, but
if Paul George didn't battle injury that season, I think he probably gets the MVP or even more of a depoy nod, but
um,
that's a conversation for a different time.
all right. Well, that concludes Thunder Blind rankings. That was fun. I think you did a pretty good job on most of those rankings.
That was an awesome game.
Oh yeah, that was fun. We'll have to do that some more in the future. So next up, we have a quick segment we're gonna do. We might do this more in the future, but we're just gonna do this a few times today. Um, you want to explain this concept here? What we're gonna do?
Yes, so we're gonna have a Thunder player debate. So how this is gonna work is Jack is going to put a Thunder player wheel onto the screen. It's gonna have all of the current Thunder players. We will spin the wheel and it'll each give us one player to argue is more valuable than the other. And we will have, let's try to keep it around a minute. Um, per person to make their argument. Then at the end of our debate, we can kind of give our thoughts and try to give objective opinions about maybe what player we think is more valuable, unbiased to our argument.
Right. Now, whether we believe it or not, we have to argue for whatever our wheel lands on. So
Right.
there may be some ridiculous debates and some challenging
Yep.
positions we'll have to come from. But y'all let us know who you think wins each debate also. So, Keaton, I think as a host, you're going to have to enable screen sharing for me here. If you can
All
figure that.
right. That should be good.
Okay. Sweet. Well, here is our wheel of players. So, for this first spin, this is going to be who Keaton has to argue for first. Okay. You ready?
Ready. Big money, big money, big money.
All right. Oh, wow. This
Jub.
This could be tough for me. Keaton got J-Dub, Jalen Williams. All right. Well, I need Chet or Shea here, preferably. But I can argue anybody. So,
That's true. Oh,
oh
you almost got.
no, yes!
Oh no.
If you're not watching,
This is rigged.
I got Shea, but I was very close getting Adam Flagler there. So,
Oh, I would have loved to see a Dukas J-Dub argument.
okay, you wanna go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I think I wasn't necessarily ready for my debate prep to have me going against Shay right off the gun.
Kind of worked out well though. We each got two of the stars for our future. I mean, obviously one's an MVP candidate, but at least you're
Yeah,
not arguing that
let me go.
else against me. I can go
Man,
first. You want me to go first?
yeah. Would you go first? I think I'm going up against a giant here.
All right, I'll go first, and then you'll go first next time. So I think we're gonna do this three total times today. So, um, yeah, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he's one of the perennial stars of the league. He was a top three MVP candidate last season. He averaged almost 31 points. He led the league in steals. Just his ability to get to a spot and control the pace of the game, accelerate, decelerate however he needs to, and just some insane shot making ability just really did numbers for this team and really was the main reason they were able to make such a jump to first in the West and go on a little playoff run. And I think he'll do that even more in the future. And while I think J-Dub is an improving young, solid player, I think Shea is just on another level. He represented his country in the Olympics and was obviously just set apart as a true star when we saw him compete against the world's players. And yeah, Shea's just made constant improvements throughout his time in the NBA. And um, I think we just take for granted how valuable he is and how great it is to have a guy like that. He's a great representation of the team off the court, especially compared to many stars on other teams. And yeah, Shea is great.
Wow. Very compelling argument, but I'm about to rebuttal. You ready for this?
Try your best.
All right. J-Dub is leaps and bounds better than Shea, and here's why. My argument isn't that he is a better basketball player than Shea on the court currently. My argument is that he's more valuable of a player, and here's why. J-Dub is 3 entire years younger than Shea. J-Dub just turned 23 years old. He's got a whole career ahead of him. Shea, I mean, who knows how much longer he's got? He's already 26. He's about to enter his prime. But if you're a team like us who has a bunch of young players, we're a really young team in the league. Don't you want to have somebody who is still on his rookie scale deal? He's extension eligible next summer. We can tie J-Dub down for a long time. Who's to tell who's to say if Shea doesn't test free agency and want to see the palm trees, want to go suntan in South Beach, want to go shopping on uh in Beverly Hills. J-Dub, he's not married. He doesn't have any distractions. He's married to the game. He's married to the game. He's married to the Thunder. But let's get into some stats real quick. I've got like 15 seconds left. Uh, J-Dub got second in Rookie of the Year voting, averaging 14.1 points. He got fourth in Most Improved Player, 19.1 points last season. He's on a trajectory like we haven't seen since Michael Jordan. That's my argument.
All right. Well, that was that was good. Y'all let us know who you think won that debate. Keaton debating for Jalen Williams, or me debating for one of the most efficient guards in the history of the NBA. So we're gonna move on to our next one. So uh,
Oh, first let's give quick unbiased opinions about who we think is better,
I
Shea.
think Shade.
I agree. I think Shea's.
Okay, this spin will be for me. Dylan Jones.
All right.
All right. Well, that'll be something. So Keaton's up next. Keaton will be debating first this time, and his player is Cason Wallace. Wow, this should be fun. All right, Keaton, go whenever you're ready.
All right. Let's let's do this thing. Pulling up pulling up some stats, some age.
I don't need to pull up stats.
Dylan Jones is so good, you don't even need it. All right, here we go. Cason Wallace is without a doubt more valuable than Dylan Jones. He's a better player and more valuable for the future. How often do you have a rookie that can step in and play 82 games and start 13 of those games? It's very rare to find a player like that drafted in the double digits that can especially can do so. Cason Wallace also played a critical role for the Thunder in the playoffs. He locked up CJ McCollum at the end of game one of the Pelicans series. He's a lengthy young guard that has unlimited defensive potential and has upside on the offensive end. He was a incredibly efficient three-point shooter, which is really good for the Thunder in their floor spacing for Shea when they're on the court together, or when he's off the court, or when Shea's off the court. Kaysen stepping in as the six-man role is also really valuable for this team. Lastly, I think Kaysen Wallace is his youth is to his benefit in that he is still really young. I believe he is, it says it right here, he's 20 years old. He's still got a whole career ahead of him. Very, very young player, stepping in, playing 82 games, awesome, invaluable, boom.
Boom. Wow, that was a compelling argument, but I'll try my best to top it. So, Dylan Jones. Now, we haven't seen Dylan Jones in the NBA yet, but you could argue that might be to his advantage. We don't know what he can be yet, but I think he has the chance to be very valuable for this team. We don't know. Maybe we'll see another rookie play 82 games this year in Dylan Jones. Now the Thunder really think he's valuable, which makes me believe that he might end up being valuable for the Thunder because they traded 5 second-round picks to get him in the draft in the first round. Now, many people didn't even think he was a first round pick, but the Thunder, who did their due diligence on scouting him for the past 2+ seasons and meeting with him for the past 2+ seasons, traded 5 second-round picks to get up and get him. What did we trade for Casey Wallace? We traded a lower draft pick just so the Mavericks would let us take him, and they gave us another player on top of that just so we could take him at 10. Now, we didn't trade 5 second-round picks for Casey Wallace. Now, Dylan Jones proved at Weber State that he can do a little bit of everything, and he can be the guy if he needs to be. He proved that he can be a great role player and rebound like nothing we've ever seen for a player his size, which is something the Thunder could use. So, for that reason, I think Dylan Jones will be the most valuable player for the Thunder next season.
Very good job.
Thank you,
Now, unbiased opinions. Who do we think's better?
Dylan Jones.
Queso.
No, I'm gonna agree with you there. But all right, last debate. Last debate.
I want one of us to get Dukas.
Me too. Oh, y'all let us know who won that debate. Okay. Not who you think is better, just who you think did a better job. Oh, Dukas!
I get Dukas.
He's got Dukies. Okay. You're arguing for Dukas. I will argue for Dort. Wow. Wow. What a way to end it here. The classic Dort,
Dukas Dort debate.
Dukas Dort debate. All right. I'll start if you want. Is that okay?
I want, yes.
Okay.
I need some time here.
All right. Lou Dort. Well, we picked him up as an undrafted free agent in 2019, and everyone counted him out. No one even wanted to use a draft pick on him. But since then, he's just been so determined to get better and better and just become a valuable player for one of the best teams in the league. Um, he's made tremendous steps defensively and offensively. Um, he is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Anyone would tell you that. We put him in the playoffs. We counted on him to guard the best player in both series. And in the first round, he made Brandon Ingram a complete non-factor. In the second round, he slowed down Luka Doncic as much as he could and made him struggle and work for every basket he got. And over the years, he's become a much better decision maker when it comes to the shots he takes. He used to just kind of chuck up everything, but now he's learned his role and how to play and be an effective part of a championship caliber team. And because of that, he's actually become an efficient shooter and a solid, one of the best 3-and-D players we've ever seen.
Very cute. Very cute argument there. Alex Dukas.
Yes.
You know what I think of when I think of Alex Dukas?
What do you think of?
I'm not entirely sure, but one thing that does come to mind, excellence. Why? Why does excellence come to mind? Because Alex Dukas attended the Center of Excellence in Canberra, Australia. How many players? Do you know the other player that attended the Center of Excellence
Ooh.
in Canberra, Australia? There's only three players in NBA history who've attended the Center of Excellence in Canberra, Australia. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird,
That is not true.
Alex Alex Dukas. Okay, Alex Dukas is 23 years old. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know. Um, he 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 can play really good basketball. And we've seen that through his zero logged stats anywhere on Basketball Reference. Um, he's tall. He's tall. He's really tall. There's a lot of tall guys out there, but none quite as tall as 6'7" Alex Dukas. Um, he's Australian. Who else? There's a lot of all-time greats that are Australian. LeBron James, Steph Curry,
Did he?
Giddy, Patty Mills.
Yep.
Those are the four Australians that come to mind. So uh, by association alone, he's going to immediately excel to all of these all-time great status because of his Australianness and his center of excellence in Canberra, Australianness. That is why he's more valuable than Dort.
Okay, you're done. Y'all let us know who won each debate and overall who was the better debater today. So, objectively or unbiasedly, who do you think is better between Dort and Dukas?
I think Dort is probably better.
I agree.
Um, but that was mainly because my debate strategy was just lying
Right, right.
for that.
I don't know if you'll get the people's votes for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, that was just pretty dishonest.
That's okay. You had to do what
I
you had.
looked him up on Basketball Reference,
Nothing.
and there was quite literally zero um, stats, information, except for him attending the Center of Excellence. So
All you needed.
that was one of the main pillars of my argument.
All right, you ready to wrap up today's episode with our final segment?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to continue our Thunder player rankings as always. Today we're going to cover the guys that played for the team in 2021, 2022, but not in later seasons. There are quite a few of those guys today, and not many of them are super relevant or worth spending a good deal of time on. So we're going to do it a little differently today. We're just going to go back and forth, each taking a player and just like I'll take the first guy and cover all five categories and rank them, and then Keaton will move on to the next guy, and we just won't need to discuss them very much, especially since there's quite a few of them. So we're
Perfect.
we're gonna let's see. I'm gonna share my screen here in a second. If I can get that window. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we've done 27 guys so far. Today we have these 14 to go over. So first up, we have Mamadi Diakite. He played just that 1 year, 13 games, averaged 4 points, 4.5 rebounds, shot 53% from the field. So those stats, I think I'm going to give a 1.52. Just nothing too noteworthy there. And then impact on winning. For a lot of these guys, I think they're going to have pretty low ratings just because none of them were very key players for the most part, and we were trying to lose during this year in particular. And so I'm going to also give him a 1.5 there. Personal opinion, I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion. He didn't spend a lot of time with us or do a lot when I was on the team. So I'm just going to give him a 3. I mean, I don't have anything against him. Actually, that would be the lowest out of anybody. So I'm not gonna give him. I'll give him a 4. I don't have anything against him. So um then we have longevity. I mean, he was barely with us. I'm gonna give him a 1. And then culture seemed like a fine guy. I'll give him a 4.
All right. Rob Edwards. He played in 2 games for us, averaged 1.5 points, 1.5 rebounds, never logged an assist, never logged a steal, never logged a block. Those stats warrant a 1. Impact on winning, a 1. My personal opinion of him, I don't have one. We'll go with a 3. Longevity, a 1. Culture, he was probably a good culture guy. Let's give him a 3.
See what I mean here, guys? Not a lot to discuss with some of these guys. This was a unique season where we just picked out a lot of guys trying to lose. So, next up, though, we have a guy that played a little more and has a little bit more noteworthy name around the league. We have Derek Favors. So, it's kind of fun to have him for a little bit. He played 39 games. In almost 17 minutes, he averaged a little over 5 points and almost 5 rebounds and shot 52 from the field. So I'll give those stats a 2.5. And then I'll give his impact on winning a 2. Personal opinion, I've always liked him. I respect a guy that's been in the league for a while like that. I'll give him a 6. Longevity, he played a little more than these other guys. I'll give him a 2. And then culture, I mean, I think this is an underrated part of his impact on the Thunder because during that time we didn't have a lot of veteran leadership. So I'm sure it meant a lot to have a guy like him there. So I'll give him a 6.5 on culture.
Next up, Melvin Frazier. He played in 3 games. He logged 120 minutes in 3, which is insane. He averaged 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, and not even an assist. Um,
27 from the field.
yeah, that warrants a 1.5. Impact on winning. I doubt we won those games. I'm gonna go with a 1.5. Personal opinion of Melvin, I don't have one. I'm gonna go with a 3. Longevity, that gets a 1. Culture, let's go 3.
All right. Just to recap these guys so far, their total ratings on average, Mamadi got a 2.4, Rob got a 1.8, Derek Favors got a 3.8, and Melvin's at a 2. Um, Scotty Hobson is next. He played in one game. Spent a lot of time with the blue. He averaged four. Well, I guess it's not an average. In that one game, he scored 4 points in 18 minutes and shot 50% from the field. So, um, on stats, I'm gonna go with a 0.5. Impact on winning, I doubt we won that game. I'll give him a 1. Personal opinion, I like him. 5. Uh, longevity, I'll give him a -1. And then culture, I'll give him a 4.5. So that gives him a 2.
Wow, that was all over the place. Georgios. All right. Georgios played in 4 games. He logged 166 minutes in those 4 games. I wonder if that is the highest minutes played per game. Oh, no. Xavier Simpson. I just saw that. I was gonna say highest minutes per game played all time. Um,
This was a weird time.
this is a very weird time for Thunder basketball. I agree. Okay, stats. He averaged 17.5 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 3 assists, 2.5 steals.
These are good stats.
Right. For 4 games, like that's pretty awesome. So let's give him a 3.
Okay.
Impact on winning. He probably had the highest impact on winning of any of these guys, maybe except Derek Favors, I suppose. Let's go 2. Personal opinion. I mean, I like a guy that can champion 41 and a half minutes and still play high quality basketball. Let's go 5.5. Longevity, 1. Culture, 3.5.
Okay, that puts Georgios Kalaitzakis at a 3. All right, next up we have a guy that did we draft him or we traded him for him on draft night or something?
Yeah, we acquired him on draft night with the Poku draft.
Yep, Vít Krejci. He played just that 1 year in 30 games. Averaged 23 minutes a game over 30 games. 6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 41 from the field. So that's decent for a stretch of 30 games. Um, I'll give him a 3 on stats. And then impact on winning. I think he started some games. I mean, we wanted to lose, but I mean, it's not necessarily his fault. He was just a rookie coming from overseas, but I'll give him a 2.5 on impact on winning. And the personal opinion, I liked him. I rooted for him. It's fun to see him actually being a contributing player with the Hawks now. He might start. I don't even know, but I'll give him a 6 here. And then longevity. I mean, he was just with us that year, but a little more than played than these other guys. But I'll give him a 2.5. And then culture seemed seemed fine. I'll give him a 5. So that puts him at a 3.8 there.
Xavier Simpson, hook shot guy.
Mhm.
That's what I remember him for. He played 4 games for us, 174 minutes. He averaged 43 and a half minutes per game, 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, about 7.5 assists, about 1.5 steals, and 1 block. It's pretty awesome that he played almost the entire game, every game that he played. But for playing 43 and a half minutes per game, those stats warrant probably a 2.5. Um, Impact on winning, 1.5. Personal opinion, 5. Longevity, 1. Culture, 5.
All right, that puts him into three. Okay, next up we have Paul Watson. He was actually on a two-way deal to start that year. He played in 9 games, averaged 3.5 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, 17 minutes, 34%. Um, those aren't great stats for how much he played. Well, he didn't like minutes wise, and he didn't shoot great, and we kind of expected him to be a shooter. He was an older guy, which was kind of weird that we brought him in on a two-way. I'll give him a 2 on stats. Impact on winning, I'll give him a 1.5. Personal opinion, he's fine. I'll give him a 4.5. Longevity, he didn't really play that much, 1.5. And then culture, seemed nice to have an older guy, I guess. I'll give him a 4.5. So that puts him at a 2.8.
Next up, Gabby Deck. This is one of the weirder situations in Thunder history, I feel like. He came over from overseas, played for us for 2 seasons, 17 games. He averaged 6 points, 2.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists. Pretty bad stats. Let's go with 1. Impact on winning. Let's go with 1.5. Personal opinion. I really don't have a great personal opinion of Gabby. Let's go 3 here. Longevity. He can get a 2.5.
Okay. I mean, he was with us 2 years.
Yeah, I'm leaning more on the 17 games played here.
Oh, okay.
Culture, 3.
All right. He's at a 2.2. Next up, we have Jalen Horde. He was kind of fun. He played over 2 seasons, but only 26 games. Averaged 21.5 minutes, 8.5 points, almost 6 rebounds. Shot 49%. So those stats aren't bad. I'll give him a 3.5. He had some fun, like mega rebound games. Impact on winning, I'll give him a 2.25. Personal opinion, again, he was fun, I guess. More fun than some of these other guys. I'll give him a 5.5. Longevity, I mean, over the course of 2 years, he was kind of going back and forth between being with us and not a lot, but kind of stuck it out more than some of these guys. So I'll give him a 3. And then culture, um, a lot of these guys, it was hard to find any culture impact just because they were with us for such a short amount of time. Um, I'll give him a 5. So that puts him at a 3.85.
The best player we've done all day.
Wow.
All right, next up, Ty Jerome, who's the first player on here that I actually like really uh I guess enjoyed. He played 2 seasons for us, 81 games. He averaged 8.6 points per game, 2.1 rebounds, and 2.8 assists, half a steal. those stats warrant like a 3.5. Impact on winning, I think Ty Jerome actually had more of an impact on winning than anyone we've done today. I'm gonna go with a 4. Personal opinion of Ty, I like Ty. I think it was kind of just he was the right player at the wrong time. Like I feel like he um was good. He was just on a really bad team. Um, Personal opinion of Ty, give me a 6.5. Longevity, he can have a 4. He can have a 4. He played in 81 games. It's pretty good. Um, Culture, I feel like he's a good culture guy. 5.5.
All right. The best player of the day, 4.7. All right. Last two guys. We have Teo Maladone. He played over 2 years, played 116 games. He played a lot, maybe because we wanted to lose, but we drafted him in the second round of the 2020 draft. He averaged almost 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in 23 minutes, shot 37 from the field and 32 from three. I mean, not great shooting splits, but he put up some numbers just because he played so much. So I'll give him a 3 on stats. Um, Impact on winning. He was our starting point guard for a while, but we wanted to lose and we did a lot. But I'll give him a 3.5, just because he played a lot more than these other guys. And the games that we did win, he probably had some impact on them. Personal opinion, I liked him. I wanted him to succeed for a little bit. I bought in and he was kind of promising. I'll give him a 5. Um, 5.5. Longevity, I mean, he played more than anyone else here, and I'll give him a 5. And then culture seemed fine, just kind of a reserve guy, but I'll give him a 6. So that puts him at a 4.6.
Finally, to wrap us up, we got Isaiah Roby. He was with us for 3 seasons, played 109 games. He averaged 9.1 points, 5.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists, almost a steal, and almost a block. Um, those stats warrant, let's give him a 3.5. Impact on winning, let's give him a 4. Personal opinion, I really liked Isaiah. Give me a 6.5. Longevity, 3 seasons. Do we have anybody up there that we've given 3 seasons? Like Sar, what did we give him longevity? 5?
Uh, 2.5.
That's not seem fair to Sar, but uh maybe it's
Well,
because the games
Star
weren't.
played 46 games in 3 seasons. Isaiah played 109 games.
All right, let's give Isaiah.
Lindy played 104 games in 3 seasons, and we gave him a 3.5.
All right, let's give Isaiah. I feel like this just differs day by day that we do this.
That's okay. That's okay. Maybe we'll go through sometime and try to make things a little more consistent. But
Let's do Isaiah. Let's give him a 4.5.
I think today we've kind of just compared to the other guys that we're ranking today. But
Uh, Culture, finally, I think he was pretty good for culture. Let's give him a 6.
didn't he have a game winner at some point?
Yeah, against the Trailblazers, I believe. It was like uh, a game that in our tanking season where it was towards the end of the year, and we probably could have done without winning that game. But hey,
Right.
everything worked out the way it did, and we ended up with Chet and J Dub and company. So
All right. So that put Roby at a 4.9. So here they are with everybody else. So no one higher than Roby at 16 um, overall from today. No one was higher. Let's see. Roby was 16, followed by Ty Jerome and Taylor Maladone. They were right behind, those group of three were right behind Jeremiah Robinson Earl and right above Micic. And then right after Bismack, we had Jalen Horde at 23, followed by Favors and Veet Krejci right before Saric. And then after Gordon Hayward, we had Khaled Zakis and Xavier Simpson before Flagler. And then after Flagler's Keontae Johnson, then Paul Watson from today at 35, and then Jared Butler. And then today we had our current bottom five, which is Diakite, Gabby Deck, Frazier, Hobson, Rob Edwards. So not the best day of talent when it comes to our Thunder rankings, but we had to have those guys to get the guys we have today. So
That's right.
another fun time ranking players. We're looking forward to doing that more in the future. So yeah, another good episode. Enjoyed talking ball today. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, just thanks for following along with us. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you guys. Leave some feedback and have a good weekend, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.